What's good, guys? It's your boy CS back with another one, another jet lag one. Yes, your boy has hardly had any sleep. I've just basically woken up and I'm just going to hit the charts and just freestyle. So bear with me. Let's see what is actually going on. I'll be properly on it tomorrow, but I like to do these Sunday recaps as to what's gone on in the week. So really, we go from, the moment of truth video, which was there, and then this one, which was the confirmation. And right now, we're basically just getting a back test of 5.18 and 5.11. So basically this point of control zone here, right? And it depends how this weekly closes. Whether the bears get some relief and they get a green candle could shape, potentially, how next week may occur. However, just going off what I'm seeing here, right? So we had this symmetrical triangle, which was, these two white lines here. And we basically just kept bumping in and out. So if we go on a smaller or medium time frame, like the 4 hour, we were just bumping in and out, in and out, in and out. We came out, faked out, and then we've come back out of it. And to me right now, I'm leaving the symmetrical triangle there, but now I have a different opinion. And that opinion is, well, the symmetrical triangle is still technically, it's still working out. And actually, if I look at it from a bearish stance, it's just back tested. And now this can go all the way up to 5.18 as the kind of like take profit region. That's how I would view it. And like a double bottom, triple bottom, quadruple bottom in a way. There's just like so many different V-ups raring to go. Sorry, I know when I speak like this, a lot of people don't really understand. So like that. So these are like reversal patterns that happens. Think of it as like a W. So like a W or a V. That's how double bottoms occur. However, even though this does look bearish for Bitcoin because of like how it's come up, it's come back in, it's back tested, came back up and trying to go back down, come back here, maybe try to do something like that. So that is the bearish stance. Somewhat of a bullish stance is if we watch here this maroon line and notice that it clips that wick, it's already clipped this wick. And I guess this next 4 hour candle's only just started, right? I guess we'll see how it reacts here. Can it finally break this yellow point of control zone and break through this maroon trend line? Or do we see something where it actually just might be an descending triangle, right? So what could happen with price action is we could get a large nuke down, come back in, and then come back, and then in, and then finally break, something like that. And then, back test, and then off to the races. Remember, trading works over the course of days rather than, obviously big moves happen in the space of, sometimes minutes, but mainly hours. That's how moves happen. They work in waves, so they happen in hours, but over a higher time frame, like days, you can see how it formulates and it could potentially come back and, come into this descending triangle that I just had there a minute ago on the 4 hour. And the other thing is, there is another chart pattern, which is, obviously I share it in the VIP group, but say this is the impulse move down, right? So it's already come down like that. Now let me get rid of it. And then this is the rectangle. So this is actually a bullish continuation pattern. If it comes back down here, could obviously come back and bounce again. But if it comes back down here again, there's a high probability that this is just a continuation pattern and that eventually it will just break through. And so, you know, sometimes, obviously, because I'm traveling, I don't want to make a decision that's reckless and careless, right? I like to make an informed decision based off data points and something that I've got conviction in. Right now, like I said, I've got a lack of sleep, so I'm just brainstorming for the week ahead as to what I'm going to do and the setups, etc. So the tether dominance is obviously by far my favorite chart. If I go into, one of my oldest favorite charts is the spider line. I've not really been showing this a lot, and a few of you have been asking me where's that gone. So, this took hours to do and to find, but it really just nails each time. Every time I need it, it comes through. So the reason we're getting this rejection is because of this yellow trend line here that's acting as rejection. And as you'll see, like, there's been multiple times where it's acted as a rejection point, as in like here and here and here. You could say, yeah, that's a break and that's a clean break in two, but if we look at it on a higher time frame, it's always a very hard place to break this yellow trend line. Either just rolls right through it or it comes all the way back up. Same here. It's trying to get over it. It can't. There got rejected, and then the next week it broke through. So what am I expecting? Well, at the end of the day, I'm going to go back to our CME chart and the parabolic curve pattern. And remember, this is over a weekly period where we've got an impulse move up, down, impulse move up. Just think of it as like a Elliott wave, but there's just an additional wave here. And then you've got the final blow off top, basically. I feel like this final blow off top is the season. So just like we had these impulse moves up, anywhere around 120, 130 is where I'd be saying, yeah, that's fine. Happy to DCA out either a lot or a majority on nearly everything, because at the end of the day, you do not want to miss out. If you missed taking profits last time, you're going to get sucked into the euphoria of what's going to happen. Because remember, these legs happen really quick. Like, it might not look it, but if we look at 1 to 2, that's the space of December to April. It like tops out basically, and then yeah, you have another little leg, but it's not as big. Then if we come here to October to March, it's the space of, that's the start of March and that's the end of March. I want to call this November actually. So November, December, January, February, March, right? So it's a good 5 solid months, 4 to 5 solid months you get these moves. So again, here from the bottom in August the 5th, like we always remember, all the way up to December, again, September, October, November, December. Yeah, 4 to 5 months, right? And if we do it from here, April, May, June, July, August, September, that's when I genuinely have always said this is going to be the top. The top is around August, September, October. Yeah, I know that's very generic, like, oh, that's 3 months. Which one is it? At the end of the day, it's the cycle's getting shorter and shorter. And like last cycle, it ended in early November, end of October. Cycle before that, it ended in like November and December-ish time. And the cycle before that was December. So I feel like September is that cut-off period now. I feel like that's where we're going to get to. Obviously, global M2 liquidity will give us a bit of a better indicator. But for now, I feel like this parabolic chart is doing the business. Okay, POC zones. Not looking good so far. It's broken through the 95.9k and then, back tested it on that red candle there, and the green candle couldn't get through. We may see 94.809 and see how the reaction is there. I think for now though, um, I mean that will correlate to the next 50 EMA. So there you go. You got like two things going on here. You got your next point of control zone. You got your 4 hour 50 EMA. And I wonder what the daily is. No, the daily's still lagging quite a bit behind. So whenever we get a tag off the 20 daily EMA, that's normally a good sign of like the trend. That's like near a bottom basically when you buy down here. Same with the weekly, but feel like the weekly is a bit too far away at the moment. So yeah, point of control zone, we just lost not the most pivotal one, but a very good zone. This is the chart that I've been following the most, which is just a very simplistic chart, which is just this point of control. As long as we stay above 92.7, we're in dreamland. This is dreamland for us, because then we can start pushing on to 106k again. This is something I drew like way back when, which was it was back in March. So it's like a rising wedge, but it's a wedge within a wedge, right? So the orange is the big rising wedge, and then you've got a smaller rising wedge here. So you got a wedge within a wedge. Like these patterns are bearish, just so you're aware. I think that's about it with just looking at chart analysis. In terms of wave patterns, so as you remember, the weekly's still moving up. Like this thing's still got a lot of juice in it. 4 days finally moving up. 3 days, curling. The 1 day is, it's got quite a bit of a curl, but there's a bit of an inward curve. Money flow's still up as well. So it's not definitive that the daily needs to come down. 12 hours showing a divergence already. So if this does fully play out, this is going to 91k, 90k at minimum. The 8 hours already been playing out. 6 hours been playing out. 4 hours are playing out as we speak. 2 hours kind of getting roasted. 1 hour has also had enough. And then the 30 hour, these are the best ones where you can get them on the lower time frames. So this is now screaming buy around here, because we've got a divergence there, another divergence, and then this should curl up. That's what we want to see anyway as bulls, like here. The divergence was there, there's another one, and the final one is usually the one that you want to get to, because it just means sellers are now getting exhausted. One thing I also wanted to mention was on the RSI, right? When this thing was just booming, right? So I want to show you specifically what I mean. So when the RSI is at like 84.69, right? Bitcoin is at 94k. And what I kept saying to you is don't short. And this is a really big lesson for you guys that short too early. Again, if it goes on deaf ears, that's fine. I'm only trying to do my best to help you guys, but it is what it is. When I kept saying don't like late leverage longs are going to get fucked, and early shorts will get fucked on moves up like this, because the RSI is over roasted. Notice how the RSI goes from like 84 to whatever it was down to let's see here, 47, right? It loses 47 points, let's just say, right? So while the RSI is going down and it peaked here at like 94k, in all that move to 47, it went sideways. See that? See how the RSI was going down and lost 40 points, but on the Bitcoin chart, it just moved sideways. And that is the true strength of RSI, Relative Strength Index. It means that the bulls are in control here. They're very much in control. And so even at that 47 bit, just a little leg back up to 63, 20 points or so. Look at the move that happened. Took us all the way to what, like nearly 98k, right? And like even now, it's trying to roast back down, like trying to send us back down. Like this thing would have to go down here to get to maybe like 91, 92. And even still then, the bulls would still have RSI strength if it just pushed out. So it's just a good learning tool just to add to your arsenal, that when you look at RSI, watch what's going on the actual chart too, because they don't correlate at all. The RSI, even when it goes down, does not mean that Bitcoin will go down. You're not buying it and it's gonna go. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that whatsoever. So that's what I'm trying to get through to many people's minds, right? Okay, and like some of the coins that I'm into, and I mean, like I've been saying turbo for time, man. I'm not gonna keep saying it. This is, while you're watching this live, this is gonna go to the satanic resistance. I'm literally gonna put an alert on here so I can, reference it, just to show you. And again, this is not cocky. This is just humility that I know where the price is gonna go, and it's gonna go and smash into there at some point. There's some alts that are performing. The ones that we really want to see are like Fartcoin, Popcat, and Turbo. I keep Brett there just because Brett's the one that lags. So once I know those two are moving, I know Brett's gonna pump the next day or so. All the other ones that I'm still in, like Troll, Housecoin, Hosico, the one that Bonk guy's into, all these like shit coins I'm basically into. I mean, I can't even call Housecoin a shit coin anymore. It's it's part of the furniture. It's part of the house, part of the home. So yeah, done well. I don't know who's saw my live thing on Telegram where I was about to fall asleep and I'm like, I got alerts here, you can long here. Well, you'll be in profit. I mean, literally go on my Telegram, it's free. On my calls group, I said long here. So the receipt's already there. I think the other receipt was for Brett maybe? Yeah, Brett's not really moving yet. I think it will move, knowing that the others have moved. What was the other one? Beam? Yeah, Beam's moved. So you would have caught the bottom of Beam. Whatever you want to do, stop loss to entry or let it run, entirely up to you, but you'd be in profits. And Floki is basically at the line. So Floki is the only one that is either in red by a bit or basically at entry. So the other three, especially Solana, you would have been slapping with at the moment. So, okay. What many people have waited till the end of the video to see, right? It's the Bitcoin dominance chart. And where do I have to start with this, man? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Unless there's a miracle in the next however many hours are left of the day, this is going to be the 9th consecutive daily Bitcoin dominance candle, which is fucking insane if you really think about it. Like, we've never seen this before. Here we've got 5 weeks. In some places you can see there's like 4 weeks. Here there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, okay, 6, 7, 8, okay, 9, 10. This one's a bit weird because of the wicks, like this one, where it actually goes down. All right, we'll call it a green candle. But there you go. There's 9 to 10 wicks. So I stand corrected. Apart from that, I don't think I've ever seen... Yeah, there's not really any other ones. Maybe this one, actually. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There you go. There's nothing that tops like 9 candles. Or the other one, 10 candles, right? So there could be 10 consecutive candles, right? If we go for next week. But at the moment, there's 9. 100% this is going to be 9. And let's just see what happened after those 10 consecutive candles, right? So the one that had 10 consecutive candles finally got some relief the next 4 weeks. And then went up 2 and then went down 3. Up 1 and then down 1. Really big one. But it still conformed to the rising channel. And I think this rising channel now is it's basically overdue because it's actually come out. I've got 2 trend lines, right? I've got one in orange, one in purple. So the purple one's like the outer rim, which follows here, like the wick, the ends of the wick. And the orange one is just like an actual just channel. Like, it doesn't necessarily need to hit everything, but it just conforms to everything. And so it's actually come out of the orange channel, hit into the purple here, and this is like the last line of defense, because the only two areas I can see this now going is 65.62 and this white trend. If that goes above the white trend line, I don't know when or how alt season is supposed to occur, because that's the end of my tether with it. Like literally, I've maintained more than anyone. You got to remember, like, look how many people have been calling for alt season at all these times, like 52%, 48%, 52%. So many people have been calling alt season around here. I never once said that. If anything, I said it's been in this rising channel. I think we could get alt season near 62.82, but I've always maintained that white trend line where the very first alt season happened, and then look where the second alt season happens, where it touches that wick right at the top here, right? And then alt season goes kaboom, right? And then this one, I feel like if we just get the wick, just a touch off there, and then boom, it starts. It fully starts. That's what I'm really excited about now, because I'm kind of thinking, look, some of these guys are already moving, like Turbo's moving. Turbo's just an underrated G. It really is an underrated G. Like, you really need to fully grasp what Turbo is. And there's just so many other coins that aren't really performing that well. I mean, Pengu is performing really well, along with Turbo, and Solana and SPX are now green as well. So there are a few, and fart coins come into play finally. Popcat's nearly erased like 4% from today, I believe. I'm pretty sure I saw it at like minus 3-4% at some point. Yeah, it was getting hammered basically at one point. And so I think we need to turn our attention and just say, like, where are we? What are we doing here? Are we going down? Are we going up? It's a very hard question. Honestly, my eyes are stinging that I don't really have the answers right now. I'll have them by tomorrow. But I'm giving you both stances like I always do whenever I look at things. And when I look at the M2 that I've shown everybody, and now everybody is, looking at this chart thinking, where are we going to go? Are we going to come down because of this bit leg here? Well, that leg down actually might have just belonged here, where these two have clasped, and now this leg up might be that, and then the downward bit might be, the side down, and then a leg up. Like, it's hard to say, but really these legs down are nothing. You don't even really get that much relief. So when we look at the line chart, like when it comes down, right, it doesn't really come down. It's like the RSI. Think of the RSI example I just gave you. When it comes down, it doesn't really get like shafted. It just moves down a bit. And really, it kind of moves side to side like a rectangle. So M2 is showing us the way. Some of the altcoins, like I said, are showing us the way too now. And like I said, I'm fully out of Bitcoin. Like I'm not really messing with Bitcoin, because the risk to reward at this point is just so in favor of those who are on altcoins. It's actually stupid not to be in altcoins right now, because anything that Bitcoin does, even if it gets to 120, 130, you could make that in maybe a single candle, maybe a single daily candle in Brett or Floki or Beam or something like that. Like, Bitcoin to do another like 50% or 100%. Any of the altcoins that I've just mentioned can possibly, like that, I'm talking like Bitcoin does another 50% or 100%, right? That would take it to something stupid like 200k or 150k if we're talking 50%, right? Something along the lines of that. Alts can do that within a single day. Like, a lot of us have seen this happen as well. Like, we've seen Turbo do it. We've seen Fartcoin do it. We've seen Wojak do it. We've seen like some crazy coins out there that can really go ballistic. And so the smart money is on altcoins. It's not on Bitcoin. If you're in Bitcoin, in my opinion, You're not taking that leap of faith, that risk to reward that you should do. At the end of the day, alts have been battered so badly compared to Bitcoin. If you think about all this leg down, Bitcoin's not really been hammered. It's gone down to 72k from 108k. It's a retrace of 46k. It's hardly done anything, but compared to altcoins that have got 90% corrections, come on, think about this logically here. And hence why I was saying buy the bottom. And even now, like, a lot of people are apprehensive, like, oh no, it could go down much more now. No, it won't. It's a reversal. Reversals don't work like that. And knowing that the SPX is coming out to fight as well is also something very interesting, because I'll maybe leave this till next video, because I've been talking quite a bit about different tangents here, but you know, the SPX here is just coming out of something which is COVID-esque to me. Like, it's just doing this, just getting out of it. And a lot of people were talking about like gaps below and stuff, and I appreciate that, because I'm a person that looks at gaps below too. However, not all gaps get filled. Like, look at all these gaps that I've marked here. I could probably go lower as well. I've made loads from like down here. There's so many gaps that never just got filled on the SPX. A lot of these gaps never ever got filled. So what is the SPX going to come all the way down to 4,000? Maybe, you know, even lower where there's gaps around here. Maybe, potentially, one day. I don't know. But, well, we've not visited it yet. And that's my point exactly, which is, well, we've not visited it, and we've still gone on a massive run. All these gaps that are below, I have too, just made people cautious that they could come down and fill those gaps. But, oh God, I hate doing that. But it's not an obligation. It's not compulsory that it will do that. So don't think that the gaps below have to get filled. They do not have to get filled. They do not have to get filled. They can get filled, but there is no obligation for them to get filled whatsoever. There is none. Absolutely zilch. Even here, I don't know why this has been taken off, but there's the smallest of gaps right at the top. Not many people know about that gap. And that's the beauty of being ahead of everyone, which is they secretly made a gap up here. As you can see there, this was on Wednesday, close time 8:30. This was Thursday morning, 2:30. Obviously, this is UK time now. Obviously, it would be like morning in America, but this is when we see them in the UK at this time. So yeah, there's a gap there. So all the gaps to the above, though, they always get filled. How funny is that? All gaps above always get filled, but not always the gaps below. One final thing I wanted to show you as well is the Nikkei, which was in this like descending channel. It actually broke out of it last week. And so if we get a nice back test off here, oof, I think that's just confirmation, because the Nikkei always moves first before everything. And so if we get something like that, God, we are going to be flying. They're going to be catching up to where they basically were, making up for lost time ultimately. All right, guys, that's it from me. Hope you enjoyed it, and I will catch you in the next one.